Are you ready to talk about that killer logo or the awesome colorway for your online portfolio and social media presence? Well, too bad. We're not going to talk about that here today. If you've been following along, then you have built the foundation to your hypothetical content creation house by now. We've talked all about your finances, building your business, organizing your business. So let's start talking about some of the fun stuff like branding. I think this might be a little different than what some of you may have come here for, but I hope you stick around because I think the message is powerful. At the end of the day, you are your branding. It's not the colors or the fonts or even that logo that makes the branding for your page. It's really everything you do, everything you say, how you act, and how you interact with others that matters. You just can't fake this. You have to be genuine. You have to be an example of the quality of community that you're looking to make. If you take nothing more away from this episode, just remember that. Hello there and welcome. My name is Brian and I go by the alias of Half Pump. And over the last 4 years, I have been creating content on and off. And in that same amount of time, I've also started and still manage and maintain 3 separate businesses to this day. And I've wanted to leverage that experience and my passion as a student of content creation and all the technology involved to hopefully lower that barrier of entry into business ownership. What you can expect out of this channel is I'm going to be posting everything that has to do with content creation, technology, and gaming. And I support that with live streams every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday on Twitch where I talk shop. I talk all about the industry and creating content before jumping into some of my favorite games. I fill in the blanks with regular Instagram content that shows you all about behind the scenes and how I make all of this and what this crazy life is like. And of course, you can always catch me on Twitter where I'm keeping the conversation alive. So if you end up liking this video, hit that bell and consider subscribing. The support means a ton. Let's talk a little about the tactical side of branding. It can really be boiled down to 3 things. It can be boiled down to your personality, your content, and finally, all the other stuff. So we'll talk a little bit about color wave and logos and branding as you may consider it. Let's start the conversation in and around your personality. I got some bad news for you. Everything has been done, and it's probably been done a thousand times, and done in ways that you could never have thought of. And that's why your personality is going to be your novel item in your whole brand picture. You might think, well, I'm not special, and that's not true at all. You are unique. There's nobody else like you on this planet. You are you. There is nobody similar, the same. That's why we all have unique DNA. That is going to be the novelty that you're bringing to your channels. This kind of circles back to my earlier message in that you have to be yourself. You have to be genuine. And at the end of the day, I promise you, it will make creating this content a lot easier for you because you're not having to fake something. You're not having to pretend to be somebody you're not. And I think that's a really important thing to know about yourself is who you are and what you're all about. So that first piece of your branding landscape has to be all about your personality and really leaning into it. Next, let's talk about your content. Content is what you're using to really tell your story. And so you have to understand what your medium is. Are you going to be more about spoken word? Are you going to be more about pictures or videography or maybe live interactions with an audience? It's really important to understand where your strengths are and what medium is going to be important in conveying that message. Because at the end of the day, you can't get tied to a platform. And rest in peace, Vine, Mixer. Those are perfect examples of what can happen if you tie your entire identity to a specific platform and then that platform crumbles. But if you understand what your medium is, like I like making videos, you can continue to do that and diversify your portfolio of platforms amongst a specific medium. So embrace your medium. Take advantage of those popular platforms out there like YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and Instagram, or your blog or your podcast, or even if it's street art is your product, there's a place for you to document that, even on like an Instagram. So there are powerful platforms out there, but just understand your medium, and it will really help your cause when identifying and solidifying your brand. Lastly, let's talk about what everybody probably thought we were going to talk about when it came to this video, and that's going to be things like your color wave, your fonts, and your logo. And frankly, I'm going to have some harsh truths for you. They're probably not as important as you think they are. They, in my opinion, are a neutral addition to your identity. And I'm going to be fully recognized that some people have done an amazing job of monetizing their logo or their name, but it's not something that you need to sweat or worry about up front. Making something simple and representative of your channel and who you are is a great place to start. And then once you've developed that identity and that brand that is you, you can really start to look into what might exemplify you. And you know, there's a couple perfect examples of that are Ninja and Peter McKinnon. So if you know anything about streaming and YouTube, then you probably know these two names. And Ninja has a great logo. But that kind of came over time with his identity. Not a lot of people realize he's been streaming and making content for over 12 years. That sweet Ninja logo that now you see everywhere, it just kind of happened over time and developed with him and his brand. Same thing with Peter McKinnon. He's got several little brands. He's got the little owl, logo that you see, or the PM logo that you see for Peter McKinnon. And that too developed over time. Don't rush into it. Don't worry about it, and just know it's not going to make or break your channel. It really is just a nice cherry on top to an already well-made dessert that is really just you and the content you're making at the end of the day. You probably noticed a theme here. Your brand is all about who you are and the medium you choose to convey your message. It has really, at the end of the day, nothing to do with the colors or the fonts or the logo that you choose. People are there to consume great content. So really just focus in on what you're trying to make and what you're trying to do, be it a physical product, a message, a platform, art, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Focus on that, and don't get lost in the tactics where too many people find themselves trudging through the swamp of trying to, polish all of these little things that don't really matter and not focus in on why their audience was there to begin with. And that was just to see you and your product, be it physical or otherwise. I really appreciate you hanging out here until the end. If you enjoyed this content, consider hitting that subscribe button and checking out the playlist for Becoming a Creator, where I cover everything in a step-by-step fashion on how to turn your passion into a business. And if you want to chat live, you can catch me on Twitch every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, as well as on Instagram and Twitter, where I'm showing you behind-the-scenes content and keeping the conversation alive. So until next time, take it easy. It is a more formal how to our chain. I didn't like any of those. See, you'll be able to words. We are starting that whole thing over. This is the downside of doing a one take, like an ad lib take of a specific bullet point. You can't just go back to the previous line. You have to start the whole thing over because you don't know what you said and what you didn't say. So all something to keep in mind when scripting. That's just a little aside. Maybe we'll cut this out, put it in another video.